Disaster tourists, that's right, that's how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are walking into 2025, by having a photo op for the devastating LA wildfires. With a camera crew and a fake empathetic look, these two are kicking off 2025 on the wrong foot. Staying true to themselves, they briefed the media on all the good things they are allegedly doing, and even were photographed surveying the damage because why? I really don't know. They have offered nothing besides their services, which is to be photographed with them, and yet they, more specifically Meghan, are taking this opportunity to merch themselves. This whole thing is ridiculous, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Angela here, and honestly, it doesn't bring me any joy to report on today's topic because what's happening in LA truly is devastating. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone who has been affected by the wildfire disaster. On behalf of the Office of the Duke and Duchess of Disaster Tourism, I'm sorry that you guys had to deal with this clown show, one we are often dealing with at Scandalous Media. TMZ got the exclusive first, publishing the photos of them surveying the damage in Altadena. They wrote face masks on and hands clasped as they toured the fire-ravaged neighborhood Friday, where witnesses tell TMZ they looked somber, emotional, and in shock, spending 45 minutes taking in the devastation. And yet other reports claim they stayed only 17 minutes, so 45 minutes seems like a stretch. Other eyewitnesses claimed that they didn't do anything, Meghan was running around pretending to look busy, while Harry stood there chatting, and we definitely saw that in the photos and videos. They were joined by a team and a few city officials, and this sparked so much outrage for several reasons. In what official capacity are Harry and Meghan doing this? They don't represent the state of California, nor do they represent America, nor are they anyone. Actress Justine Bateman dragged them, saying, "Meghan Markle and Harry are no better than ambulance chasers. What a repulsive photo op they achieved. They are touring the damage. Are they politicians now? They don't live here, they are tourists. Disaster tourists." Before we start, be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week. We have exciting news. We are now available wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check out the link in the description below and follow our show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you would like, please rate our show 5 stars and stay tuned for the special surprises we have planned there. Follow us on our social media, check out scandalous.media for inside celebrity tea, and without further ado, let's survey the damage that is Harry and Meghan. Publicity stunts and photo ops. Harry and Meghan released an update on the LA fires on their website. I don't know about you, but I don't know one person who gets their updates from Harry and Meghan. Just like they love cosplaying as Princess Diana, they also love cosplaying as government officials or respectful individuals of any capacity. If Spotify, Netflix, Hollywood, and even the British royal family didn't want you, why do you think the victims of the devastating LA fires do? But it wasn't just the photo ops, they kept briefing the media. This is how you can tell the difference between celebrities who are actually doing good and those who are using this as a charity brownie point. Going to their mouthpiece of choice, People magazine wrote that they can confirm that the couple have opened their home to friends and loved ones forced to evacuate. TMZ also reported the same, writing, "The two reportedly opened their mansion to friends and family impacted by the wildfires, doling out supplies and other essentials." Who? Please tell me what friends and family Harry and Meghan have to begin with, let alone in LA. Quick. Second of all, leaking to the media exactly what you're donating, which in their case is apparently clothing and children's toys, lets me know exactly which celebrities are doing it for clout and which are actually doing it to help. Jennifer Garner, for example, was at the wildfire relief efforts event which they attended, just like we saw her and ex-husband Ben Affleck volunteering at a homeless shelter during Thanksgiving. Giving back for her never stops, as she was also serving meals to evacuees and first responders fleeing the fires. She spoke about her survivor's guilt after her Pacific Palisades home survived the fires while mourning the loss of a church friend to the disaster. And yet Harry and Meghan came 90 miles to do what? Right, take photos and notify the media of the details about their visit. This one reporter, who has previously worked for different US media channels, said that the media was indeed tipped off.
And they were tipped off in advance that Harry and Meghan were going to be attending. The main contender seems to be, of course, the giant TMZ, who seemingly had some kind of camera crew there. Not quite sure exactly their relationship with Harry and Meghan.
It's sad that they didn't do much but stand there and take photos. They didn't even bring food with them, they just served what was already brought by other people. The mayor of Pasadena revealed that Harry and Meghan were serving food earlier anonymously. Well, it's not so anonymous if you're here protecting their image. I don't get it. Doesn't the mayor have something more important to do? Why is he updating us on Harry and Meghan?
We also talked to Pasadena Mayor Victor Gordo earlier. He shared with us how Harry and Meghan really are an example of so many others wanting to help show up, like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, show up and say, we want to help people that are hurting right now. That says something. That speaks volumes to people.
When you have to say they didn't come out here for publicity, then they absolutely did. Homeowners weren't allowed to visit their own property, but Harry and Meghan got a VIP tour, and for what? Meghan couldn't even fake being interested. In this video, you see Harry and Meghan talking to this woman, and while she's still talking, Meghan is giving her an empathetic look before she turns around and just leaves. People were questioning if the woman they were talking to was actually part of their staff because she left with them, as you can see in this video. And as the video pans, you see this one man standing who's part of the media, because I believe that's a microphone he's holding. And no one else is around him, which confirmed to everyone that this was probably a hired photographer or someone briefing the media. She proceeded to hug the volunteer in such a dramatic way. She's looking directly at the camera here because we all know her talent when it comes to spotting cameras. Harry looks fed up with her fake empathy. Watch his face here. He looks like he was about to say something, pursed his lips, and then looks away. He literally takes a deep breath to take in all the BS. There's something about us humans who can tell when someone is being authentic or not. It's not something you can necessarily explain, but rather see and feel. This is the case with Meghan, who goes for the comforting hug photo op, the back rub, the hand over her mouth in shock. The whole thing is just performative, especially when you recall how she treats people when the camera isn't rolling. We saw this with her staff in the palace, with what the Hollywood Reporter exposed, with the Daily Beast, and just recently with Vanity Fair, which I'm going to make a whole video on. Stay tuned because there are some crazy details we need to discuss. So when that's the constant report from many different outlets, even across the pond, then sorry, no one is buying your performative act.
She was giving out hugs. She's not an American royal. She's a celebrity. Showing up to go greet victims of the fires would have been like if Kim Kardashian showed up. People don't need that.
What's ridiculous is the media who started referring to her as Princess Markle.
Princess Markle is...
That doesn't even sound right. The video continues with the reporter making a big fuss over, ready for it? Meghan bending down to get something, saying that she's here to get dirty for her city.
She left that little group and now she's getting down and dirty. She truly wants to help. I mean, you know, she's in her civvies and not exactly glammed up, but she bent over that plastic bin. It looked as if
she literally looked like she was about to grab a Sprite and then realized that wouldn't fit with the photo op aesthetic she's going for. But it gets even more bizarre because at a different moment, the reporter calls her Princess Markle as Meghan, which again doesn't even sound right, and makes mention of her LA hat and how she's here to hang out with the commoners.
have a better shot of Princess Markle as Meghan as she's wearing that LA ball cap, talking to some of the volunteers. I'm sure they just wanted to come and offer support as they are hanging out with the commoners, I guess. That's one way to put it.
I don't know who that reporter is or if she's on Harry and Meghan's payroll, but that's not what you say when reporting on a devastating wildfire that killed at least 27 people and destroyed more than 12,000 structures. Another reporter chimes in to mention how they opened their home for their friends, and again, how would we know that if it's not Harry and Meghan briefing the media?
Harry and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, they've already opened their home, $14 million home, by the way, in Montecito, which is, 90 miles north of the Palisades. They've opened their home to their friends who have, been forced to evacuate.
Who told you that? Who gave you that piece of information?
There were also reports that the civilians of LA couldn't even visit their homes yet because it was deemed too dangerous, but somehow the mayor made time to give Harry and Meghan a tour of the disaster, where not only people couldn't visit their homes,
some of these evacuees have been waiting up to 6 hours here, lined up car to car, bumper to bumper, waiting to get to that checkpoint for a police escort in to what is left, they hope, of their property.
But the photographer who took the photos also posted the full address of the homes they were touring. It's okay when it's someone else's privacy they're invading and having their address shared, but they blasted the Daily Mail for reportedly posting the address of Tyler Perry's home they stayed in. Parts of California literally had checkpoints for people to wait in before they could see their homes.
Other big checkpoints is on Allenford as LAPD crews rush in here to set up their curfew at 6 p.m.
And yet, Meghan and Harry got in for their photo op. At the time they took those photos, there was a lot of traffic due to all the evacuees, and Altadena was still on fire, as you can see here. So why would anyone be allowed to go to such a restricted area where not even the people who live there were allowed to go? Lady C wrote, "Illuminating, isn't it, how Meghan and Harry continue to pose and posture as royals as if they are entitled to an officially functioning court based in the US, which would give them the right to behave as if they represent anyone but their monetizing selves. Why are they hugging first responders and visiting fire-destroyed areas, hanging out with commoners, as Fox News anchor Suzanne Harasuna put it? So naive of the mayor of Pasadena, Victor Gordo, distracted from his duties accompanying them on a photo fest, as he praises them for not doing it for publicity, but because they care." I mean, all they did was stand in a circle, surrounded by security, and someone from the mayor's team, which is this woman in the beige coat here, talking to one volunteer. Since all they do is talk to the media and brief them, they had a source tell Page 6 that Justine Bateman's comments about them being disaster tourists was offensive to Meghan and Harry, that anybody would think this is merely a photo opportunity, and that Meghan was born and raised in Los Angeles, so this is and always will be home to her. Okay, and? Harry was born and raised in the UK with the same family that she had him destroy in the media for her ego. Being from someplace doesn't give you a free ticket to be a publicity vulture, and the fact that they got defensive over that comment instead of trying to see where people are coming from or why they are pissed is very telling on the type of people they are. One user wrote, "Remember when Meghan Markle went to Uvalde less than 36 hours after the massacre to pose with volunteers and sold the photos to BuzzFeed via Ellie Hall? Since then, Meghan has used images from Uvalde to make it appear like she was an integral part of helping that community heal, and Meghan is now doing the same with the LA wildfire." Nothing was more pathetic and truly sad than the way Meghan staged photos at the Uvalde Memorial and had a whole camera crew accompanying her to snap pics from every angle. I'm sure many celebrities have gone to pay their respects, but only one is ever this high profile. LA can call out fakeness more than anyone because they're surrounded by the next person trying to make it big at any cost. They don't buy this act, and this is why Hollywood shut the door in Meghan's face. Kelly Osbourne slammed celebrities using LA fires as a photo op, saying, "No one asked you to come out and give hugs," and "Is it me being my usual cynical self, or is it really disturbing seeing these celebrities using other people's pain and suffering as a photo op to say, 'I'm helping, I'm doing this, I'm doing that'? I don't believe you help because you get attention for helping, I believe you help because you want to. I'm so confused, I think it's so wrong. No one asked you to come out and give hugs, go home." Faking busy. For the 17 minutes or so that they were reportedly there, Meghan was just faking busy the whole time. In this one clip, Meghan looks clueless, just looking around aggressively with her hands up. She looks like she's keeping count of the cameras. I mean, nothing about this looks authentic. Also, the way she turned around so fast when she saw Harry talking to someone that she's not, I mean, insane. Because Meghan isn't normal and doesn't know how to be in the moment, whether that's in silence or showing true empathy, she's like an anxious reaction, shaking, looking around, sudden movements. We've seen this at the Invictus games, at the bookstore, and there are endless examples on my channel. While Harry's occupied and she's twirling trying to find a job, she randomly picks up convo with the volunteer woman she's been using the whole time she was there, puts her hand on her back, and then goes in for a big hug with the man who was talking to Harry. It's truly hilarious to watch. The man is Jose Andres, by the way, the founder of World Central Kitchen, and he didn't look too pleased to see her. But speaking of him, he did give like a whole thing to People magazine about how they care so much and they help and most people wouldn't come out for them, and like just this whole thing of BS. It's like, are you guys paid to say this? No other celebrity is getting this type of treatment from the media. And when she went to hug him in the video, the reporter comments saying,
"Things we just watched as Meghan Markle gave Jose Andres that hug, that warm hug."
And that's exactly what Meghan does. It's for reporters to call her this warm person who's just a hugger.
It's like I was a hugger, always been a hugger.
Meanwhile, anyone who actually works with her says the complete opposite. In this clip, she's just, I don't even know, bouncing around, and she goes to put her hand on the back of this random woman as she looks for something to do. And here they are posing, and in this photo you can see Meghan with her arm out, getting ready for the photo, and most likely positioning people in the photo the way she usually does. After they did the photo ops and had the media calling her Princess Markle, they dipped and walked right past LA fire victims with their crew. They looked like they couldn't get out of there fast enough. And look here, they have their cameraman following as per usual. They should be ashamed of themselves. Another place, another photo op. Meghan then went touring again, this time with the staff from the Archwell Foundation, to hand out essentials to the Altadena Girls Recovery Fund. This photo op was assumingly one to fix the damage of the first one. She wore an LA hat as she walked around with these big bags from Our Place, you know, the same brand that belongs to the Afghan woman that Meghan was hosting a Thanksgiving dinner for. It's hilarious how everything is a merching opportunity for her. Does this mean that the donations were from Our Place or Meghan? Or is it like the Sesta Collective bag again, where she invested in a company and by promoting the products, sales go up and therefore she also makes money? Thank God she wore another LA baseball cap with huge bags that no one was helping her with just in time for the photo to get snapped. How else would we have known she was out volunteering? In this clip, she approaches this woman who takes a step back and Meghan goes to touch her arm. One user wrote, "Meghan has a very dark aura and some people, especially empaths, immediately feel uncomfortable in her presence. Her approach to that lady is spine-chilling to watch." People are often uncomfortable with Meghan, and she uses this psychological tactic where she tries to use physical touch to portray a warm and inviting feeling, but everyone often gets creeped out by her quest for control. You know, this is the same claw we've seen control Harry for years. Go here, come here, no, go there, sit down, stand up. She was seen taking photos with fans, with one girl who wrote, "Ran into the queen of philanthropy." You would think she'd learn from the first disastrous photo op to try to pretend like she cares, but nope. She had her publicist brief the media again with this one headline reading, "Meghan Markle quietly volunteers to support." If you have to tell us she's quietly doing something, it doesn't seem like it's all that quiet. But it gets worse. The outlet, which is Town and Country, writes, TNC reported yesterday that Harry and Meghan made donations to the Altadena Teen Girls Fire Recovery through their Archwell Foundation, and today, TNC confirms that Meghan also volunteered with the organization on Monday. She arrived with new clothing and beauty products as well as lunch for the volunteers. It's like she's gonna die if the media doesn't report every good, quiet thing she does. What's sad though is that when there was a video of the people actually volunteering inside, she was nowhere to be found. She was only seen entering, so was it really a photo op? As I reported in my last video on Meghan, she delayed her new Netflix show, With Love, Meghan, claiming it was her decision because of the victims of the LA wildfires. It's not like it was a live event or anything, but according to many sources, Netflix saw how horrible her public reputation was, especially with this wildfire publicity stunt, and said, no, we're gonna sit this one out and let it cool down. Of course, Meghan probably wants to promote the show, so delaying it and acting like it was from the goodness of her heart as opposed to a business move is interesting to say the least.
I am sure that there are some bonuses attached to viewership metrics. The better her show does, the more money she makes. If she can't promote or doesn't want to promote With Love, Meghan, less people might tune in. This decision to delay, I think, has nothing to do with the victims of the fires in the Los Angeles area and has everything to do with making herself look good and with money.
It's sad how low Harry and specifically Meghan are willing to go. Vanity Fair recently published a scandalous expose exposing more of Meghan's mean girl behavior, reports of her team shopping for a book deal once she divorces Harry, and so much more scandalous tea that I'm going to cover in my next video. So stay tuned for that. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't heard the news yet, you can officially check us out on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, a link in the description. Please follow us and rate our show 5 stars because we have something really cool bubbling and I don't want you guys to miss out. Be sure to like and subscribe for new videos each week, follow us on our social media, and as always, I'll see you next time.